Welcome back, everyone. We have gathered here today to say goodbye to an old dear friend. Cambot is not just passed on, but will remain with us forever, protecting us as the new energy source for the force field at our door to keep the strange skull-faced man out. I think he's called Manus, but I can't be sure. I'm not sure if he's talking about himself in the third person or if he's talking about someone else. But I digress. We lay Cambot to his rest. This now having been done, Cambot also requested a song upon his death. Alrighty, hello and welcome back, everyone. I know things are a little bit different. I mean, look at this. Widescreen. Well, at least wider than what it used to be. In any case, it's time to get down to a project that's been long overdue. I, long ago, about a month or two ago, actually by now, had promised that I would start doing a review on a show called Iron King. Right around this same time, however, a lot of other projects came up, collaborations and so forth, which have almost earned me an entire $1 on Blip. But I digress. It's finally time to get down to business. I don't have a collaboration, at least not until the next review, and there's just enough time for Iron King to get its just going through. Iron King is a strange little show that came out in the 1970s in Japan. Right around the same time, the kaiju show base was huge. I mean, huge. We already had our second show of Ultraman. Kamen Rider was now in existence. Super Sentai was now starting up with the 5-man group and everything else by this point. So by this time, Giant Monsters, or at the very least, Monster of the Week type shows with lots of action, kung fu, wrestling, and everything else, at this point was a huge regular, and it was also causing the decline in movies such as Godzilla. But we're not here to talk about Godzilla, we're here to talk about one of those popular 70s shows from Japan, this being called Iron King. Iron King's main character, Jintaro, was played by pop star Soji Ishibara, to which I assume by pop star they mean that he's a musician. But in this idea, Shoji is actually very, very good at what he does. He plays a spaghetti western type character who is not afraid to get violent and is very cocky and highly self-opinionated, and usually can do what he sets out to do. He's very strong, very agile, and as a matter of fact, the real actor did a lot of flips and stunt work himself. At some points, it gets very impressive, especially towards the end of the first story arc. But unlike your normal show at the time in Japan, Iron King's first plot twist comes in when Goro, played by Mitsuo Hamada, appears and is a rather worthless, kind of goofy character. It turns out that he is the giant robot known as Iron King, and that apparently Taro is actually aware that there's a program called Iron King and that was supposed to make a giant robot, but is not aware that it was actually done, or much less that it was done to somebody and not just a self-sustaining robot. But in the plot of things, Taro is called for by the Japanese government to deal with a group called the Shintaro clan, who planned for over 2,000 years to reconquer Japan after being picked up by the Yamato clan, which is, by today's standards, the people who inhabit Japan. The more you know. The rest of this falls under the general monster of the week, although advancing the plot slightly here and there. There is a female character who is on for the early part of the show. About halfway through the first story arc, she's killed off after revealing that she is in fact working for the evil clan trying to take over Japan, and that she would actually rather see the other two succeed in taking down this clan than torturing people and killing mass numbers of innocents. Especially since it's been over 2,000 years. Is this getting through to anyone else? These people are kind of nuts. But I digress. In the long story of things, we get a few really cool robots, a few really silly robots, and a lot of costumes that look like they're basically made from the same stuff with new enhancements. At the very end of it, Jintaro hops on top of Iron King and gives chase after the final clan member, who is also on top of their very last robot. When attempting to attack, he sets up an explosion inside of the hand attack that the robot uses and sends the attack right back at the robot, causing the jerk and the robot to both blow up into Kingdom Come. After this, Jintaro and Goro both set up explosives inside their last base and blow it up. But upon doing so, it would appear that they have woken up a monster. Turns out, however, there is another group that's active now. This new group calls themselves the Phantom Militia, and they have some nice little weird attire with skulls all over it, and quite frankly, just like the helmets in the first group, the Phantom Militia have a silly hat. This time turbans. Don't know what it is about this show, they just have really, really goofy head attire. You can almost take them seriously up until that point. Versus Conan's, then it's Arabian Nights. The story with the Shiranui clan finally ends in around episode 10, but at the very end of the episode we still get the what appears to be a dinosaur-like monster popping out of the ground after the explosion. And also a little bit from the Phantom Militia. The next 3 episodes for the first half that I've watched featured the Phantom Militia, and so far only 2 of their monsters. Shows off they're on a budget.
What?
The first 2 monsters actually last a couple of episodes, unlike, say, the original clan, whose monsters usually lasted only 1 episode, maximum of 2. But so far, I've only gotten into this 13 episodes, and only about 3 of them are actually the new evil militia, Phantom Militia group. So there's not much to say about them yet, other than they have silly hats and they have dinosaur-like monsters. If I understand this type of monster will keep going for this group until they're extinguished. Then a new V for Vendetta looking group will come in and they'll have insect-like monsters. So I get the feeling I'm going to like the middle part of this show a lot better than the beginning or the end. Although so far, if you can withstand the campy nature of this 1970s show, it's pretty good. But I digress. That's all for this time. Quick little report in on this show. My next episode should be Friday the 13th Part 2. Why Part 2, you're asking? A collaboration, of course. This means later on I can get your attention when I backtrack. Same with the Godzilla films, if I decide to go after them as well. Till then, catch you later.